Story 1. Am I the a-hole for leaving my daughter and grandkids very little as an inheritance in my will? The story of my life. I was a very troubled kid. Got into tons of trouble with the law in and out of jail. Terrible addiction to methamphetamine, shooting up daily. I never thought I was going to live and make it to 25, let alone 60. My last stint in prison was 4 years. That was the last brush with the police. Arrested in 95, out in 99. It's been 30 years clean. When I got out of prison, I owed $70,000 in child support. I dug myself out of debt with various jobs. Through hard work, I amassed over $1 million today. Credit score today is 843. I did this all on my own. I busted my bum and went from the crappiest jobs of shoveling dirt and mud under crawl spaces to running the insulation portion of 60-story high-rises with 7 to 10 guys working under me. I am disabled from an accident at work and am in the process of starting nonprofit that trains the neurodivergent to gain work experience. My second daughter today is neurodivergent. Rewind to about 1990, I had a child with a woman I thought I loved. This was at the height of my addiction. I knew we weren't ready for a child, and I relayed that. To me, this was a discussion, but it clearly was more than that to her, because she just left me and was gone. Didn't involve me in the birth. Maybe 2 years later, I had moved to the Northwest, and I found out she had moved to Florida to have the baby. We originally lived in New York. I get a letter saying I owe child support. My first child's name is A. When I got out of prison, I came back to New York and really tried to make up for lost time. At first, A seemed very interested in getting to know me, but over time, I believe her mother poisoned me toward her because of how much fun she saw me having with A. Over time, A became very angry and hurtful, going out of her way to be intentionally mean. I've spent the last 25 years trying to make up, and nothing I do seems to work. X. At one point, her mother said, "I can't handle her. You have to take her," and I took her in. She was about 15, and I was barely able to take care of myself. She was so hard on me. One day during an argument, she said, "It doesn't matter, 'cause I'm going back with my mom anyway." I said, "No, you're living with me now." But her mother filed paperwork again and took her back in. We rarely talked after that. When I did talk to her now and then, she would ask for money, $500 here, $1,000 there, until one day I blew up and said she can't use me like that. She blew up back at me and slammed the phone down, and I didn't hear from her for, I'm guessing, 10 years. I was tired of trying to force relationship that she clearly didn't want. I figured she'll call when she's ready. In 2012, I had my second daughter. I swore I was going to do this one right, and I have. She's growing up right, she's growing up wonderful. Then, out of the blue, A calls me back. I'm 60 years old now, and says she wants a relationship, wants me to get to know the grandkids I've never met. We talked every day about 3 weeks, and everything seemed fine, and then she just stopped talking. I sent her gifts for her birthday. I sent the kids hundreds worth of gifts for Christmas, no response. I haven't talked to her, in any length, in 5 months. Yes, I have called her, and she says, "Oh, I'm just so busy these days. I really enjoy our talks, though." I feel like she's doing it again, possibly because she knows I'm older, knows I got hurt and am disabled, and she wants to remind me that she's still in my life without doing the work of actually being in my life, in the hopes of getting some inheritance. The question is, am I overreacting? Overthinking? When I question her and she says, "I'm just really busy," I think, in this day and age, we have cell phones on our hips when we go to the bathroom if you can't send a text every now and then, especially when someone sends you a mass number of gifts for Christmas and birthdays, then what you're really saying, you're not that important to me. Regardless of our A and me relationship, she has involved the grandkids now, and they shouldn't suffer, even if I don't ever get to talk to them or get a thank you. I know I screwed up. I screwed up her life. I've really tried to make amends. I have so much to offer her today. Her mother didn't involve me in the birth. I was fully paralyzed with addiction, living on the streets and shooting up in alleyways. I had no control over my addiction. I realize this is not an excuse. I can't change the past, but I'm trying to make up. But what more can I do? She's put me in a difficult place with the grandkids. My therapist says, just be happy with whatever you get from her. And when she's ready, she'll contact you. I send gifts, and I don't even get a thank you. It's not that I don't plan on leaving her anything, but I would say $10,000 each between her and the grandkids. $30,000 total should be enough unless she really wants to involve me in her life and call me more than once every 6 months. Do I really have a right to have an expectation of some kind of relationship with her? She contacted me. She said she wanted a relationship. We talked for 3 weeks. Nothing happened from my end that can see that would have annoyed her to cause her to stop talking. And when I do talk to her, she says, No, everything's fine. I'm just really busy. Am I overreacting? And would you leave more as an inheritance? The thing I think about a lot. Yes, I hurt you. Yes, you have a right to be angry over it. But I never did anything to intentionally hurt you. She has gone out of her way to hurt me emotionally and to use me for money when she needs it. And every dime I leave her is that much less my other daughter will end up with. Signed, trying to do the right thing. Update. For those comments about maybe she needed you to be involved and visit, and not just a phone call and gifts. She lives about 6 hours from me, and I off to visit from day one. She said no because she has a small place, and said she would drive out before the end of the summer that turned into Christmas that is now in spring. I even offered to meet at a neutral location at a Knoebels amusement park halfway between us, but nothing. I would drive out tomorrow to meet her if she'd let me. I have no problem giving her a half the $1 million while I'm alive through reciprocity actions. She wants to buy a house. I'll help you with the down payment. Do you want to start a business? I'll review your business plan and help you start the business and front you the money. But what I'm gonna do is give you money after my death. When you're not meeting me halfway so that you can blow it all in a few years, I would rather help you today. But if that's not what you want, then you don't deserve the money later. I respect and appreciate all the comments that I am the a-hole, because it gives me insight into what she might really be thinking about me that she just can't seem to communicate to me. So thank you for this, all of you. Now for the comments. I would set up some sort of trusts for the grandkids to access when they come of age. Inheritance split among children should not be uppermost on OP's mind right now. No offense, OP, but you are a 60-year-old disabled ex-addict. Your health and age suggest you may need some expensive end-of-life care. $1 million may seem like a lot, but dementia or stroke care can eat that up quicker than you realize. You should meet with an elder law attorney to see how much money you may need to set aside for that, after insurance and pensions. Next up, you have a minor child. Look at all your assets and the child's mother's assets. How much money will be needed to raise your 12-year-old to maturity, including college? This fund may need to be put in a trust, with explicit instructions regarding its use and any leftovers from it. Only then should you be worrying about your first child, who, while having been dealt a bad hand in life, is still an adult at this moment. Maybe after both your needs and those of the minor child are met, you can split the leftovers amongst your descendants, either by specific amount or percentage. Again, please meet with both an elder law attorney and a trusts and estate attorney to form a complete picture of just what is needed in the future. Short answer: not the a-hole for not leaving her much of an inheritance. I'm no contact with my dad, and even if I was in contact with him, I would be surprised if I was in the will. There was nothing like him being an addict or going to prison. He was just an absent deadbeat dad. The way things are, I probably won't even go to his funeral. Your situation is a lot more complicated, and there probably won't be a perfect answer where everyone is happy. I will say, I don't think it's right that you blame her mother for poisoning your relationship when you were an unreliable father. You weren't capable of being a father to your daughter, and you said it yourself that she has every right to be angry. I'm not sure what the hell happened when she was 15, but from the little you put here, it seems like she was at the whim of her mother and didn't get any say on what happened. She didn't want to be with you, but it sounds like her mother forced it for whatever reason. And when she said she wanted to live with her mom, you didn't listen to her valid feelings. You just said, "No, you live with me now." That was a horrible thing to say. She was 15 and had lived with her mom all her life, and she got basically abandoned by her mom. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened, but it seems like she got the shit end of the stick at the time from the little you put here. You rather glossed over all of that, and it gives the impression that you're avoiding details. Your therapist is right that you should be happy with whatever she gives you. I will say you might want to stop with all the gifts and stuff. You're getting resentful of it, and it seems like you're starting to feel like she owes you her time because you bought her stuff. Plus, it kind of reeks of buying her love or trying to fix things with money. Don't be that kind of guy. My dad tried that when my sister and I were kids. He was better off than our mom and bought things as a bribe. An example would be when he said wouldn't send us our birthday or Christmas gifts. We had to wait until our visit to get them. We only saw him during the summer since we lived in separate states, and neither of our birthdays fell anywhere near the summer. Never even got a card from him. I'm not sure he even knows when our birthdays are. Now and days he likes to claim we aren't his children. My dad got custody of my brother in the divorce since the judge let him choose. Now my brother ended up hating our mom. It wouldn't surprise me if our dad poisoned that relationship, but I can't say for certain. My brother swore at her, called her horrible things, but she kept calling. Even when it was hard, even when he refused to talk to her, she kept calling. She would visit him because he didn't visit her, but it paid off. She has a positive relationship with him now. He even moved in with her for a bit as an adult when he moved to our state. He calls her and tells her what's going on in his life. It's not the kid of relationship she has with my sister and I, but it is a relationship. She didn't get there by buying stuff. She got there by calling every week and taking what she could get. You want a better relationship with your daughter? Take what you get. Keep making an effort. And try to make plans to visit her. Spend that gift money on plane tickets instead. Giving her a large inheritance won't make things right or fair. It won't make her think better of you. It might make her life easier, and if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. If you want something positive to come from your money, then maybe donate some of it to a charity that helps addicts. Maybe you'll help someone else save their relationship with their daughter before it gets to the point you're at. Thanks so much for your input. I see your point and agree. There are details left out, but I can only write so much. I wouldn't send gifts to them. She seems to be playing games. The damage is done. I would leave a token amount, say $100 each, to say you acknowledge. But as the relationship has been strained and you are estranged, you don't want to leave them money. I'd then put all your money into a trust fund for your second daughter. So it can't be manipulated into going to first daughter. I would make it clear to the trust holders your second daughter has access to. The money things are put into her name or the trust's name to protect her in marriage and from financial abuse, etc. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not giving my ex back a gift I received from his great-grandmother? I, 23 female, and my ex, 22 male, have been broken up for just about 3 years now. For context now, we had a child together in our relationship, and we are both currently in new relationships. His new girlfriend is pregnant with his second child. Recently, I received a message from my ex asking for a stone-carved pregnant elephant that was gifted to me by his great-grandmother 5 years back. His grandmother sadly passed a year back, and he is currently asking for it back. I asked him firstly why he wanted it back, as it was a gift for me during my pregnancy. A bit more context, we visited his family, and his grandmother had elephants everywhere in her home. I made a comment about how beautiful her collection was, as some of them were very unique. She lit up and insisted I take one as a welcome to the family present. I tried to politely tell her I would feel horrible to break up her collection, but she kept insisting. At this point, I didn't want to be rude and said, "Okay," and walked around with her as she told me stories of how she got some of the elephants. Anyways, we stumble upon the stone-carved elephant with a carved-out tummy with a baby inside. She heavily implied that my choice should be that specific elephant as it fits the situation perfectly. Me being pregnant and all at the time. I smiled and accepted and thanked her for letting me carry a part of her collection with me. She gave me a hug and accepted me into part of the family. My ex, who I guess got a bit jealous, wanted to pick out an elephant of his own, so he got to do so. Back to current day. He told me, due to the passing of his grandmother, he wanted to have the elephant to put with a gift he got with his great-grandfather so that they could both be together. When I asked him why he specifically wanted mine, he kept dodging the question and said it belonged to his grandmother, and it being a gift from her to me held no value. I reminded him that he got to choose his own that day. He dodged that too, calling me selfish and a lowlife. Part of me is more than willing to give it back to him, but part of me knows that he is going to gift this elephant to his new girlfriend because of her new pregnancy. I say this because I know his narcissistic and manipulative personality. Why would he ask me now, and not a year ago upon her passing? Am I the a-hole? Update. I looked at the price of the elephant online. It's made from jade and have seen some sold for $200, $400 online. Money might be his key factor in getting it back. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. That elephant was a gift to you to honor your pregnancy and a lovely family heirloom that can then be passed down to your child from their great-great-grandmother. I'm divorced, and I still have a gold bracelet that my mother-in-law gave me for our wedding. It was passed down from my ex-husband's great-grandmother, ex-father-in-law side, and I promised to keep it in the family. It will be gifted to the spouse of one of our sons one day, the same way it was gifted to my mother-in-law and to me. My current relationship with my ex is bad to say the least, but even he never asked for it back. I'd probably feel differently if it was an engagement ring, but in OP's case, it's just ridiculous to ask for the gift that was given by somebody else. My boyfriend said the same thing. He thinks it weird and odd. Makes it a bit weirder that a year after her passing, he's asking for it back. After 3 years of not being together on top of that. One of two things. 1. He wants to give it to his new squeeze. 2. He found out it's actually worth money and wants to sell it. No is a complete sentence. Cut him off anytime elephant comes across in conversation. I realize you can't block him because you share a child. Good luck with that. If you think about it, that elephant would be something you can gift to your child to let him know he was loved before he was born. Not the a-hole. My child loves the elephant. They keep it right on their nightstand and tells Grandma good night every night. I feel like he'd be heartbroken by me giving it to his father and having him lose his goodnight to Grandma. My ex only has him for 2 days. Don't let him take it to Dad's. Make it some serious secret that can only be shared in Mommy's house. Like the elephant gets car sick, she needs to stay here till you get back home. And before everyone jumps about, secret from Dad. Do you really think he's not got Dad-only secrets? I appreciate this point of view. I will definitely keep this in mind if my son ever asks. Not the a-hole. It was gifted to you when you became a part of the family. No matter what with him moving on with his life, you will always be a part of that family in some capacity as his child's mother. I would say it was different if it was something for him, in a situation where it was the only thing of hers he would have. But even then, it wouldn't be something you had to do. Just a nice gesture. Thank you for listening. If you like the video, consider like and subscribe. If you want more stories like these, turn on your notification to receive the latest stories.